Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. If you are new here, this is the beginning of our very first series on our channel and the first official part of Sablegrove. So here we are at the very first household in our rotation, and this is actually the Ashcroft family, who are going to be our political figures of the town. Just a little disclaimer, I did have to do a voiceover for this part because when I looked back at the recording after I had already saved and played the day, my microphone kept cutting out. So hopefully we don't have that issue here, and hopefully I can find my groove again with all of this. But yeah, so for today, we are really going to just do a little bit of setup, and then we are going to play a day in their life. You will not have seen this house yet because I will add a speed build to the end of this video, so stay tuned for that. But this is their humble abode. It is quite large, actually, and they ended up running out of money before I could really do it justice. So, yeah, unfortunately, they only have 16 simoleons, as I pointed out. So there's not a whole lot of decor or furnishing even, but we will just furnish it as they earn money. And because our girl, our main sim here, she's going to be in politics, she should earn a good chunk of change. So that will help us add to it. So this is our first character, our main character that I'm showing now. Her name is Linda. She is the older sister in this case. Her and her sister are quite different, and her goal really is to become mayor at some point, although she's more interested in influence, as you will see when I assign the lifetime wands. And then her younger sister is Melissa. I don't know who that is. I'm pointing out that my game has already created a townie here. Whatever. Anyway, so this is Melissa. She's quite young. She's just turned 20 years old, and she does have a son. She is more of the wild child of the group. They do have a little bit of a difference in their personality that way. She's a pleasure sim, while Linda is actually a popularity sim. So they are similar in some sense, but very different in others. And then this little guy that is dancing with her, that's Nolan. That is her son. So she did have him quite young. He's already 5 and she's 20, so she had a teen pregnancy, which, is realistic. It happens, as controversial as it may still be. It's something that happens quite often, actually. So, yeah. So as for our setup, we will start with traits here shortly, and then we will do everything else on the way. And then, like I said, we'll play that day. So I'm not even sure what I'm saying at this point. I'm sorry. Voiceovers are just so tough that way. But yeah, I guess while I'm here, I will just mention that their backstory, not all the families have a backstory, but in this case, it really is just that there was some tension between the sisters. They were orphaned quite young in their lives, and Linda kind of took it upon herself to be not only a sister, but a mother to her younger sister. And that isn't really what Melissa wanted. She just wanted her older sister. But, Linda felt like she needed a mom, and so she tried to take care of her and do the best by her. But there's definitely some tension built between them because of that. And that only increased when she fell pregnant, when Melissa fell pregnant. So, yeah, so right now I am giving her a political science degree because she would have gone to college. She is 22. She just graduated, whereas Melissa is 20 and thus has not gone to college, partially because she's been focusing on raising her son. So, yeah. The reason why they are here in Sablegrove is now that Linda has graduated, they are going to start fresh and kind of put all that tension behind them, hopefully, and make a name for themselves where nobody kind of knows that there was some kind of scandal. Although, as you get to know them, you'll kind of put two and two together. But hopefully her sister being a teen mom doesn't affect her political life. It shouldn't, but, it is what it is. As for Melissa's career, I think that I would like to have her work in a business, like a business ran by the community. So either currently we will have the clinic, the grocery store or the clothing store. So we'll see which one she ends up in. But yeah, now we're going to do our traits. So I have to turn on a couple options first. And then I was checking their interests because I had heard somewhere that when you create fresh sims and create a sim, they have like very similar interests, but it does seem like they're varied enough that I wasn't going to randomize them. And that is something that I'm keeping track in the spreadsheet. So if I'm noticing that, like, okay, yeah, there's a lot of sims who like or dislike the same things, then I will start randomizing. But for them, I've just left it. So now we're going to add Linda's traits. And she rolls Daredevil, Star Quality, Social Butterfly, Ambitious, and Hot-Headed. Now, the only ones that I was considering changing were Star Quality and Daredevil. Just because I wasn't sure if they totally fit with her personality that I kind of had in mind. But I decided to leave it because I'm thinking the Star Quality might give her like a little bit of like a celebrity feel to her. And then the Daredevil maybe is just how she is not afraid to take things on. And then she rolled the favorite color of turquoise. So now we're going to choose her lifetime want. And I end up choosing influential manipulator because I didn't want her to go the mayor route, specifically because I thought that I was going to set her to a mayor already. And I don't necessarily feel like she is someone who cares too much about reaching the top of her career, although she is ambitious. But I thought like the influential piece was like a very political move. She wants to have a high influence on people. So that's kind of where we're going. And I think it fits with her popularity aspiration as well. So now we're going to jump over to Melissa. Oh, sorry. I'm just giving her her career. And she's going to start at level 4. So she's a campaign manager. And originally I was going to set her to a mayor. But I figured, you know what, she's just graduated. And rather than just setting her immediately to the top of the career, I figured, let's just be her like, or have her be the political figure of the town and then work her way up to mayor eventually if that's the route that she ends up taking. But yeah. So now we should be hopping over to Melissa to do her traits. Oh, no, sorry. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to randomize the skills because it seems kind of funny to have grown adults without any skills. So I do a quick save because have done this before using the sim blender. And when I've done that with the sim blender, it's given them like super, super high trait or skills. So with the sim manipulator, it still gives them quite high traits, but it's not as bad with as the sim blender. So we go ahead with it. And we keep her traits. Now we're jumping over to Melissa and we're going to give her her skills first because it's just a click instead. So she gets these skills. And that's when I noticed that she also has a very high creativity skill. So that's going to come into play shortly. But we're going to get her traits. And she ends up getting the schmoozer, socially awkward, night owl, friendly, and perfectionist. Now, it doesn't show in this playthrough, but I do go ahead and switch out the socially awkward because I realized that schmoozer and socially awkward don't really fit together. And rather than keep the socially awkward trait, because she, in my mind, is kind of a little bit of a, you know, a flirt in some ways, I end up giving her the artistic trait. And the reason why I do that is because of this lifetime wish that we choose for her, which is to have published the bestseller of a lifetime. So her one true hobby, we find out, actually does fit with this, and it has randomized to film and literature, which is perfect. I usually don't check this, and I like to discover it on our own. But in this case, if it fit, I was going to give her this lifetime want, and it did fit. So we give it to her, and that is going to be her goal. So she's going to be working on books, but also working in one of the community-owned businesses as well. And then we are just going to give her her favorite color right away. And then I think we'll be moving on to Nolan. So she gets blue. All right, so there's less to do for Nolan. I do try and give him some skills, but I realize really quickly that it's going to give him super high skills that don't make sense for a 5-year-old, so someone who's just aged up into a child. So I end up resetting them and then just giving him a couple that might make sense. And I do with like creativity because his mom is very creative. I gave him charisma, but then I was like, you know what? He's actually quite a shy sim. So I was like, maybe we won't do that one. And I end up giving it to cooking and then cleaning. So like some of the basic skills that he might have acquired just from, you know, living. And then we get started with some gameplay. So, oh, favorite color first. So he gets orange. There we go. And then, oh, and his traits. Oops, my bad. So he gets schmoozer from his mom and then brave and good sense of humor. And I think that's so sweet. He is just like a busy boy is how I see it. And we get a few more simoleons for selling off our items that we no longer need. And now we get into gameplay. So yeah, I'm super excited for this Let's Play and I hope you are too. But we're just going to get through a quick day here to cross over from summer to fall. And we're going to have the Sims get ready for their day. I don't even know what I'm doing right now. I think I'm just like trying to figure out how to start or talking about something that I don't know. I wanted to talk about and now I forget. So, you know, that's how it goes when there's a voiceover. Hopefully I don't have to do this again, but yeah. So Nolan is going to head off to school because we can still do that. It is Monday morning and he can head out over there while the sisters go and deal with some basic needs. Neither one of them need to be anywhere today, so they're just going to settle in. So yeah. So like I was saying about their backstory, there was some tension, but they are going to try and work through that and start fresh here where they're able to kind of build that relationship back up and, live their own lives away from any stigma that may have been attached to them before where they grew up. So, yeah. So at this point, Melissa is living with her sister, but quite frankly, I can see her when she kind of establishes herself a little bit more, moving out on her own pretty shortly with her son and living her own life. There are some single men, maybe only one actually. So you never know if Melissa falls in love with him or even if Linda does. So we'll have to see how that goes. But yeah, if you did watch the introduction video, then you've seen the create a sim videos of all of the sims that are playable so far. And I will be adding townies just kind of as I want to create them and put them in the background. But for now, we have the 5 families, which that was one thing that I had mentioned before, was that all of these sims have been basically pretty much randomized in terms of I rolled for the amount of sims in each household. I then rolled for all of the ages that would be in the household and their genders and kind of made up families that way. And then most of the sims, I did randomize a lot of their appearances. I also kept like styles that they were kind of initialized with because we really don't know a whole lot about the Sims. And because of that, I wanted them to kind of show who they were. And so their styles and things might change eventually. But for now, I kind of just went with whatever they were in cast with as long as it looked all right. And went from there. So now the sisters both want to make friends with someone. And since their relationship was actually pretty low to begin with, I figured the best thing to do at this point was to help them rekindle their friendship. So they're working on that right now, and hopefully they are able to accomplish that. Spoiler, they do. So that's exciting. They're able to become friends once again, which is really good because they're sisters and they're super close in age. I mean, they're only 2 years apart. They're basically just starting their lives. Linda has just graduated from college. She's starting her political career. Melissa is only 20. She just graduated from high school not too long ago and has been just focused on raising her son. So now we're just, starting like their actual stories and seeing where that takes us. So they do make friends with each other again, which is amazing. And then we do a couple interactions that they want to do before moving on with the rest of our day. It's already midday and there's just, basic needs to attend to. So we get there. I also locked in for Linda to woohoo because she does need a partner, hopefully, if we want the Ashcroft name to continue and the mayoral, I can't say that word, house to continue. So we'll see. In the future, I would like to do like votes for like anybody in the political system, or just only have a mayor determined by who reaches that point. But because I figured this is like a modern playthrough, and I don't think they would start a community or city without some kind of political figure being there to be able to make sure that they are, following the laws and governed properly. So that's kind of why we have this family. And yeah. All right. Oh, and I realized when I had Linda go and make some lunch that I have a mod where they don't start with food in their fridge, which is really handy, except I haven't set up the other families yet. So the grocery store isn't actually available for us to go and purchase groceries from. So I just stocked their fridge, and we also have no money. So, we'll need that. But yeah, so they're sitting down for some lunch. And I'm just kind of checking out their personalities and figuring out how this is going to go. I also wanted to mention that a goal of mine will be to have this family throw a get together of some sort, like a welcome to Sablegrove, as the political figure, so that the Sims can all get to know each other, because we don't really have like a local hangout at this point yet, unless that turns into being like the clothing store or the grocery store, which wouldn't be ideal. So yeah, so she does work most of the week and actually on the weekends, so we might have to do that tomorrow, which will be a little weird because anybody who is working in a rabbit hole may not be able to attend, but that's okay. We'll see how it goes. And honestly, it'll be in their playthrough anyways, so it's not like anybody will miss work of any sort. So no problems. I do also have to set up ACR, so I take a second here to do that, even though it takes me a minute to get that going. And Nolan brings home one of our other playables, which is Lily McKinley, who is actually the granddaughter, the youngest granddaughter of the next family that we're going to be playing. And I think it's really cute that he comes home with her. So to set up ACR, I usually enable Try for Baby for non-marriages. But I decided in this hood not to do that because it does expand the population quite quickly. So I decided, you know what, we're going to leave it disabled for now. But if I decide that like I kind of want that risk, or the population isn't growing naturally as much as I would like, then I can always enable it again. And so the only settings that I am changing currently are the risky setting and the, I believe, bi or gay setting. I don't know what I chose there. And there's a little bit of a jump because I had to deal with my little guy. So if you watch the introduction, you know that I'm a single mom, and there is a small chance that you might hear him upset in the background right now. It's bedtime and he doesn't like bedtime. So yeah. Oh, and poor little Lily seems to be having a aspiration failure somehow. So we'll have to check that out when we get to them next. And I was trying to decide what I wanted to set it on there. But he does want to become friends with someone as well. So we have him interact with Lily and hopefully become friends with her. And Meanwhile, Melissa and Linda are just kind of doing their own thing. Um, I do go back and forth between which one I want to lock in, but then I end up locking in ask for homework help because I was fairly certain that these two would become friends. Um, so yeah, he seems to be quite a good student, quite a good kid in general at the moment. We'll see how that continues, if he ends up being a rebel like his mom or more straight edge like his aunt. We shall see. Also, I was looking at their personalities, and it's really funny. Melissa and Linda actually have very similar personalities in terms of like the Sims 2 personalities, and actually quite a few interests and dislikes that are similar as well. So they're very similar people in terms of Sims 2, but when you take into consideration their traits, they're a little bit different that way. So it's interesting. And then Nolan actually is like almost on the opposite side of a lot of their personality points. So we'll see how that goes. With all the other Sims, I did tweak their personality points, but I didn't really do that much with the kids because I wasn't sure if in Create a Sim they take personality into consideration with their genetics. So I didn't want to mess with it just in case it did. So yeah. So they're just playing. They're pretty close to becoming friends, and he does lock in the want to become friends with Lily specifically, which I think is really cute. So you never know. Maybe a future romance in our lives. I don't know why that took so long for me to get out of my mouth. But something to note is just that I do randomize ages as well. And so I don't really know how old Lily will be compared to Nolan, just because I will have to roll for her grandparents to see how old they are and then judge based on them how old I want Lily and Samantha, her older sisters. So we'll have to see. And then somehow Melissa's hunger tanked, like she was about to die, and I have no idea how because she had eaten lunch just like her sister, and all she was doing was reading. So not entirely sure what happened there, but we have her eat to kind of try and bring that hunger up. And then we have Linda go and make some more food because she was also starting to get hungry, and there was no way that this chef salad was going to fill up her sister. So yeah, so we have Linda serve some salmon for dinner because Nolan will also have to eat anyways. And yeah, I was just floored by that. I have no idea what happened there. Still don't, even after rewatching this. No clue. But yeah, I do initially have Melissa here try and attempt to help Nolan with his homework. Doesn't work out, but we'll get to it eventually. And yeah, so we're just making some salmon, making some dinner, and they're going to have a cute little family dinner moment. I play with the debugger so often. I'm sorry if that bothers anyone. I don't know why. It's just like out of complete habit to like click on it and see if there's anything I need to fix. I don't know. I really don't know. It's pure habit at this point. So yeah, they're going to sit down and have a nice family dinner, chat about like life in their new home, in their new town. And yeah, I totally blanked on what I was going to say there. Yeah, no clue. Anyways, so I am attempting to get Nolan to ask Melissa to help with his homework, but Melissa's taking forever to eat. So he's going to take a shower first, and then we'll have them clean up and get ready for bed. And that will be it. I note that I need to get a bath mat in that bathroom as quickly as possible because Nolan is extremely sloppy. And yeah, just don't need that mess every time he takes a shower. So there we go. They go and work on his homework and they do complete it, thankfully. It gets quite late. 5-year-olds should not be up until midnight, but you know, Sims. So he's going to head to sleep, and Melissa is also going to get ready, and that is where we are leaving it here. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I know it was a little bit chaotic as I was doing the voiceover and kind of navigating what I was trying to talk about, but I hope you enjoyed nonetheless. Thank you so much for watching. If you did like it, please don't forget to hit that like button and comment and subscribe as well. I would really appreciate that. I loved hearing from you guys, and I also just, would love to grow the community. So yeah, thank you so much. Bye.